Hello and welcome to week 8, I believe, of the Chillax League. I'm joined by my co-host Uber. Uber, how you doing?
All tickety boo. It's been an interesting week score wise, and it's getting into the meat of the season. I feel now with we've had a couple of swap outs, and the teams are building, and the results will start really meaning something now. So it's going to be interesting. As we've spoken about before, it's a long season, so most would have been finished by now, and we're kind of just over halfway through.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so yeah, it's interesting. It's good, and I'm looking forward to my mid-table mediocrity and then smashing it next season.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've really enjoyed the longer season rather than having two divisions where you play 4 games and then you're in
Yeah,
playoffs or not, because if you like two unfortunate games and you don't have a chance.
yeah.
Whereas there's definitely some recovery time. Just before we dive into it, anything hobby related this week?
No, I'm still ploughing through painting zombies. I have many zombies to paint. I managed to snag a cheap-ish copy of Zombicide 2 or
Ooh,
second edition of Zombicide. Um,
where'd you get that
so I've
from?
been,
eBay?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it wasn't cheap, but it was kind of 20 quid off retail.
Okay, it's not bad.
Um, I'm hoping that it's something I can get the boy into playing because he's now 11. He's very much into computer gaming, but he loves zombie type games. So I'm gonna hopefully that will lure him into a bit of tabletop gaming as well.
Just say you can have like half a beer or something if he plays it with you. That was usually how my dad got me to do anything when I was that age. Just bribe him with beer. Although I don't know if that's great parenting advice. Don't follow me on that one, actually.
In fairness, he's less inclined to want beer and more inclined to want some form of gaming currency for whether it's Call of Duty or Battlefield. There's the new Battlefield game is coming out soon,
Oh,
so
so that's what you could do. Like, hide in, make your own custom cards, because part of Zombicide, you like rummage through stuff, don't you? And some of
oh
the
yeah,
cards you could pull out might be like a £10 voucher for. God, that's an expensive way to spend time with your children.
children are fucking expensive, man. There is no cheap way of spending time with children anymore.
Oh, yeah, we're fairly lucky then. Fairly lucky then.
Yeah,
Cool. Right. So let's dive into it. Okay. So we'll look at the scores through last week first of all, and then I guess we'll have to show the scores as well. So as they stand, Uber Spoons has a commanding lead of 2 points. So he's got 8 points. I've got 6. Let's
that's
start.
correct.
Let's start going through the results. So first up was Sirius United versus the Corn Bay Brawlers. That's my reroll Chaos team into Iron Sirius's Necro try hard, and well, what more could you want from a start to a new team? Necro, 200 TV higher than you. I decided prior to the game that I was going to focus. I did try and win, so the
Yeah,
fact that it was 3-1, he soundly beat me, but I didn't just sandbag and roll over and just let him run in as many touchdowns as he wanted to. If you watch the first 7 turns of that game, you'll understand what happened. But yeah, so I decided to put all my cash into Apothecaries because I didn't have one going in. Main goal was get out of that game with my Minotaur alive and with my Chaos Warriors
yeah.
alive. And if I did that, I was going to be happy. So I chose to receive. Can you guess what he rolled on the kickoff table?
What's a blitz?
Blitz, so based all my players, and then had 2 wolves pressuring the ball. I immediately
Yeah,
failed my first dice roll into a re-roll, which was a POW. Second dice roll was a fail, so that was my turn 1. My turn 2, first dice roll was a fail, re-roll into a fail. My turn 3, first dice roll was a fail, no re-rolls left. And that was it, the story for really 7 turns. And then
yeah,
I got to play a little bit turn 8, which was fun. But 2-0 at half time on my sort of offensive drive. And then he scored
yeah,
another quick one. And then all of a sudden, my team came alive like halfway through the second half. And I started like removing players. I killed a zombie. I knocked out both the wolves. And then I was sort of looking around and I was like, hang on. I could probably score here because it was looking like it was going to be 4-0. So
Yeah.
a Chaos Warrior grabbed the ball, made a break up the sort of right-hand flank, handed off to the Minotaur, who then ran
Off.
half the length of the pitch and did 2 GFIs without a reroll to fucking score my first ever Minotaur touchdown. I've asked Iron to screen grab this, and really, I should have prepped it. What I might do, guys, is I might go back before I put this live and just screen grab that glorious... it's over like 3 turns, though. I scored with a Minotaur, just accept it.
Yeah.
So 3-1, I rolled a 6 on the winnings. Again, if I'm looking at,
right,
what am I trying to achieve this season with these guys? I'm trying to build them for next. So my players came out alive. Got 5 SPP on the Minotaur, which is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Also,
no perms, no damage?
Yeah, no. I took a lot of damage. It was Necro. So I had a Death and I've had a Perm as well, but they were both on Beasts, so I just fired them. Obviously, the Dead one got the MVP, so that was 5 SPP lost. A little bit sad, but I think if I look at it overall, with my SPP with the win-ins, I was able to buy an Apothecary, and I think that's probably the most I could have hoped for, really. So I'm gonna, I predicted that I would lose that. Well, I don't know what score I predicted though.
You predicted you would lose 2-0, so you do get a point. Do you know what I predicted you'd lose by?
Is it 3-1?
Yes, it did.
Shit. So you're on
2 points
9.
to me, 1 point to me.
Okay.
Yep.
Damn. I thought that was going to be my big result. Okay, next up we have the Skanks and Sorasses versus the Zombies. So that's Show Me Magic's Necro. Try hard. Fucking try hard. Get life. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I went to an event on Sunday and I picked up a really bad cough.
Sounds like you've picked up. Sounds like you've picked up some of that that necro kind of based COVID-y type stuff.
I did play Necro actually. That's a surprise.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh right, okay. So well, in fairness, there are a lot of very small penis people out there.
Yeah.
That do like that team. And it's just a dick thing, I guess. People are just arseholes.
Do you know what I noticed the difference between the way Magic plays Necro and the way that my opponent on Sunday played Necro is on Sunday
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, because the guy played it, I don't think, optimally by just throwing his wolves in. So you didn't have that problem of, if I get round you, I can't get away from you. Whereas Magic always has just players like littered in the backfield. The position doesn't matter because they can cover the whole pitch anyway. So I think he just randomly spreads them across the back, and then if you do break through, he gets them. But yeah, this guy tied his wolves up.
I have read on a toilet wall that Magic likes it in the backfield.
Yeah, and it was his phone number as well. Call this for nudes or something. I wasn't really sure what it meant, but so Magic picks up a 1-0 win. Sorry, Magic. So I should say here that he did actually message me privately and asked us to stop taking the piss out of him.
Oops.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Single tear rolls down my cheek. From a score prediction point of view, you did predict he was going to win, but by 2-0, whereas I predicted a 2-2 draw. So you get a point, I get no points.
Get in, yes. And also what I've noticed, guys, Magic is not that comfortable against lizards.
Yeah.
Because he should have shit on that other team last week. Mr. Ben played out of his skin, but this is it. When he doesn't have, or Necro don't have that massive speed advantage, they seem to struggle a little bit. So good, not taking away from Magic, they're good result there. But it's interesting to see that the 2 games that he's not sort of run away with this season have both been lizards. Okay, next game. So the Wieners versus the Rotten Deadskins. So this is Deaton versus Lebat. How did we have this?
Yeah. You had it's Norse, isn't it? You had the Norse down for the win but only 1-0, so you get a point.
Yeah.
I did not. I had Lee down for a 1-0 win, so I get no points.
So we're dead even at this point. I've crawled it back. Okay. Next up, we've got yourselves and the Halflings. Damn it! I think I know what happened this time.
Yeah. Now here's a fun game. Obviously, I love playing halflings. I'm reasonably comfortable with the way they play, and I went into the game knowing that um, that I was giving away a lot of TV. So he picked what I would have picked. He took Deep Root and a Chef. So I think I had one reroll in each half.
Oh, that's
Um,
rough, especially on Camry.
so that was hard going. I received first, but he was able to knock the ball loose. He played really well. Was able to kind of gang fuck me with halflings against the ball carrier on a couple of occasions. Then I did the thing that I said to myself at the start of the game not to do. Don't get sucked in with your Tomb Guardians in a fist fight with his tree men. And then absolutely did that. I was 1-0 down at half time, but then was able to just pry the ball loose from him. It was a bit of a go for it block, I think, with one of my throwers,
Okay.
who was then able to secure the ball. The ball changed hands about 2 or 3 times, I think, on what was my right hand side. And then I just managed to get enough of the ball, get a blitzer picked it up, moved over, handed it off to the thrower because slightly long. Was it a blitzer or was it? No, it was a Skelly picked it up by accident.
Oh, nice.
I went to move him into a blocking position, misclicked, and walked him through the ball. And freakishly, he managed to pick it up, which even my thrower struggled to pick the ball up. So then it was the Skelly that went over to the thrower and handed it off to him, and the thrower was able to run up the side and get the draw.
Nice.
Which, given that I had indeed predicted a 1-1 draw, less than half an hour beforehand, did feel a little bit cheese, but it definitely was not a fixed result. So 2 points to me, none to you.
Yeah, no, I thought you would. I thought you'd beat the Flings there, but no, fair effort from Clockwork there.
No, he played them well, but it didn't help that I did that exact thing that I said not to. And the one thing that you've got in your favour if you can avoid doing it against Flings is if you can just stay away from the trees. I think he only had one that rooted, but if you can stay away from the trees and just go to town on the halflings,
Yeah.
then potentially you've got a chance of, if you can do enough damage. And I didn't do a massive amount of damage, and I think I took a loss, a player death as well. But again, it's a bit like if you're playing lizards. You've got to knock out the skinks in lizards because the Saurus are never going to pick the ball up, and it's the same with halflings. You've got to target and take as many of the halflings out as quickly as possible because the trees are useless on their own.
Yeah.
Because you can just run around them, and I just didn't do that very well.
Yeah, I've got them in a couple of weeks, and I think I'm buggered, to be honest, because I'm going to have no block or tackle, or very unlikely to have anything. So I'm literally just hoping they're essentially, their entire team is blodged to me. So
yeah, and you'll be relying on the horns on your linos to do the business and to try and
yeah, I can set up a lot of 3 dice, which is what you need to roll your powers, and especially with the Minotaur and stuff. I think I might just try and level the Minotaur in that game, but we'll see. So yeah, that's that one.
Yeah.
Yet to be defined versus the Tin Town Rats. What were the predictions on this one? Because I'm pretty sure none of us got this right.
I was going to say neither. I mean, we both picked the Rats to win, so we both get a point. But in no way did we pick a 5-0. You picked 2-0, I picked 3-1. So we both picked a kind of a 2 touchdown deficit against the Lizards, but. Fucking hell, 5-0.
Yeah, I mean, the most I've ever won a game is 7-0. And that was on tabletop. And that was the club record. If you'd asked the club owner at the start of the night, at the end of the night, they remembered an 8-0 that they'd forgotten about. So 5-0 is nuts. What I hear that he basically Mr. Ben just could not pick the ball up. Basically,
Yeah.
it happens sometimes, and with the Rats, it's a 2-up pickup and then 2-up dodge, and you're out.
Yeah.
So there can be games like that. It doesn't happen a lot, but it seems that Gridbook has that style where he will just go for the score every single turn, and if it's working, you get scores like that.
Oh, absolutely. And as I said to you, in my experience of playing him is he plays the team well, but particularly he uses his gutter runners particularly well. And looking at that score, it must have been a continuation of that because that's a cracking score.
Yeah. So next up, we've got the Hogwarts versus the Stonehorn Striders. So this is Crazy versus Battlehawk. How did we have this?
We both picked Ogres to win. Me by 3-0, you by 1-0. So we were both off the mark. Nobody scores.
Okay. Well, good result. And, Crazy'd had a bit of a charge. I think he'd had like 3 wins in the trot. So it just shows the difficulty of running into 6 Ogres. Obviously, since Battlehawks picked up that 6th Ogre, I don't think he's dropped a game yet. So doing good there.
And we looked at that build last week, and it's a scary build for any team to go up against.
It's got better. It's got better. I was speaking to him. I was speaking to him in the week. It's got better. So we'll look at that.
We'll have a look at that in a minute. Yeah.
So score stays the same there, 10-12, and then the final one we have Onion Flaps versus High Times in P-Town. This was played last night. 2-0 to the Woodies there. How are our predictions?
You predicted Ogres to win 1-0.
I predicted Ogres to win.
Yes, you did.
Damn.
Whereas I predicted Elves to win 1-0.
I don't feel like I did that.
Yeah, sorry.
13, damn. So you've extended your lead to 3 points. I'm going to go watch that video back because I was almost sure I picked Elves.
No, you didn't. I'm sorry, you've miscounted. I've extended my lead to 4-0 because I scored 6 points this week because I got 2 scores actually correct and 2 winners in 2 other games. You scored 4 points. Okay. You didn't get any scores correct, but you did pick 4 winners. So I am currently 14-10 ahead. So I've extended my lead by another 2 points because you suck sweaty balls.
Yeah, I need to catch up this week. Otherwise,
you need a good week this week.
Benefit still a long season, so I could have another bad week and I could still catch you. So I'm not sweating too much yet. I've not ruled out winning that painted corn team, so we'll see. Yep. So this week we've got first matchup yet to be defined versus the Corn Bay Brawlers. So let's look at Mr. Ben's. He is finally... No, he's not at 11 players. No, he's not. He's got a Mighty Blow, which could help him, but it's on a Strength 3 Saurus. If I'm honest, and I don't know if this is, me trying to feed into my own result here, but I don't know if I'd take that piece with the Mighty Blow. I don't know. I guess my thought is here, right? If he's got Mighty Blow in a piece, he's going to use it more than his other pieces, just subconsciously. So if he gets any SPP, he's putting them on a Strength 3 player. I don't know. I personally would probably fire that and take the extra mobility for next week, because after our game he'll be able to replace it with a full strength one. I don't know personally. It would be hard to fire a Mighty Blow, but at the same time I wouldn't want a piece that needs to be fired picking up SPP. When I had that messed up mummy, I was terrified it would break armor. So I was like, please don't steal my SPP. I want it on the other one. But yes.
Yeah, because he's got two Strength 3 Saurus in there, hasn't he? I mean, again, and I said it last time that actually, that they become your 2 flanking pieces for your Crocs with guard. So it's not awful, but you're right. It's the longer it goes on, the more chance it is that he's going to pick up casualty SPP,
MVPs, all sorts.
Yeah.
But
you've got another. The other thing you've got another Strength 3 Saurus in there as well that doesn't have Mighty Blow, and it's he's only got 60k in the bank, so he ain't going to be replacing both of them anytime soon. So it's kind of where do you go? Which one do you look to bin off first?
I would probably look at team value difference at this point, right? So if that
Yeah.
20k gets my opponent something that I don't want to go against, I would probably
Yeah.
cut the bigger piece. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's hard, right? Because it's like, do you want the result in the next game, or do you want the development for your next season?
Yeah, and you know he's limped with this team, doggedly not giving up with it.
Yeah, big nuts.
And yeah, absolutely. And it's been a difficult one. I don't suppose that he'll want to roll this one in the next season, unless you make that decision. Unless you make that decision now, and you're absolutely right, and almost approach it the way that you're approaching it with your team now, with the second half of the season going, do you know what? The season's away from me now, so now it's a build phase ready for the start of next season.
Yeah, and if he gets a bit more luck, like casualty wise, like his own side, like he could have, he's what 5-6 games left. That's anywhere between, probably 200, 300,000 gold if you roll well. And he could have almost a new team. Yeah, he could have both those Saurus replaced. He could replace all three of them, and have a team that's looking decent. I spoke to him again in the week.
Blodging skinks and things like that as well.
Yeah. I think he's already got sidestep on one. I mean, this is rough, like this late into the season, to only have 3 skills and most players not active. But I think he's made a decision by not re-rolling. He's kind of said that he's committing to this team, because if you could re-roll and you chose not to, well, what else are you doing? If you know what I mean, you're trying to keep this particular team alive.
Yeah, no, good stones for doing that. Absolutely. Unlike you massive tool.
Yeah. Here they are. The Corn Bay Bad Boys. Or Bay Brawlers. The Bay Bad Boys would have been cooler. Shit. Nothing special, just 9 players. I've almost got a sevens team here already. But that's it. Some people are just getting shit on casualty wise. You've got Magic, who doesn't fail regen, and then you've got other teams that are losing 2 or 3 players every single game, and it makes such a huge difference. But I was very fortunate in that it's 2 beastmen. I'll get loners, which I can just stick on the line for the Crocs to punch. So it actually kind of works out for me anyway. The only sad thing was the missing SPP, but 20k in the bank. I've got my Apothecary, which will be really important.
Yeah, definitely, because you want to protect your Minotaur and your Chaos Warriors now. So I assume you're now going to try and accumulate and get your 4th Chaos Warrior.
Yeah, so the plan was 4th Chaos Warrior, so I can't do it this week. Even if I roll a 6, 80,
no, you still
90.
Be,
it'd be 10k short, even if I rolled a 6. So yeah, aim is by the end of next week to have the 4th Warrior, which would take me up to 10 players, and then I would go for a re-roll to take me up to 3. And if I can get to the end of the season with that, 4 Warriors, it doesn't really matter how many skills I have. If I can go 4 Warriors, 3 re-rolls, and the Mino, it's okay.
It's a good founding for next season, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there is probably the chance that I'm going to roll Necro or double Ogres or something like that again and just have my team ruined, but that's Blood Bowl, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll let you do the first pick.
That's a tricky one.
They're both fucked up, aren't they?
But yeah, I mean, there's not much to pick between them. I think probably that your horns against those strength 3 lizards might just see you through. So I'm going to give you a 1-0 win.
Okay. He'll be on 11 players, won't he? So any casualties stick. Any casualties stick. I'm going to be lame. I'm going to say 1-1 draw. However, if I can win by 1-0, I will 100% take it. I would rather, take
absolutely,
than the corn box. I had someone message and was like, I don't know if you guys should pick your own games or not. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm saying I'm in a building stage here. I 100% want to go undefeated for the rest of the season. I just know it's not going to happen.
No, and this score guessing thing is just a fun little bit of bullshit on the side of looking at people's teams. There's certainly nothing.
Yeah, and like Uber wants to win a painted Snotling team, and I want to win a painted Corn team. So, you know,
I don't want your fucking bullshit painting. I want nice painting. Thank you.
I'm sorry, but that you know, if you put that generous offer out, I can't not return it. And also, it would give me great pleasure giving you a reward that I know you don't want.
Yeah, no, you do sound like the ex-wife.
And then watching you thank me for it when you
Like
know
this.
it's terrible. Yeah, like thank you so much. Oh, you've really
Thank you
put
so much.
you've really put a lot of effort there. You've only got a little bit of the skin tone on the rest of the model.
Yeah, that you've managed to get that contrast paint on really thick. Excellent.
I love the pooling. It just makes those recesses disappear.
Yeah.
No. No, I won't paint them. I won't ruin them for you. I'm painting white at the moment. I'm excited. It's going well.
You need to get some of that pocket. I can never fucking say it. The contrast white.
I don't like it.
Over. Do you not?
I tried the contrast
you're an
white.
idiot.
It came out like grey to me.
Yeah, if you, I like it white. Do it over a white undercoat. Hit it with that, and then just dry brush the white back over the top. I like the shading it does, but courses for courses. I
I've
suppose.
already gone and spent 20 quid on different paints to paint white. It's fucking nuts, isn't it? Why is it so difficult? Anyway, back to the Blood Bowl. So we've got the Hogwarts versus Feeling Your Mummy. Let's check out the Hogwarts. Let's see what state they're in. 1-2-30, so they're getting beefy, which I'm not pleased about because I've got them in the next couple of weeks. He's out a dodge lineman, but he has a Blodge Mighty Blow Blitzer, Mighty Blow Blitzer, Wrestle Witch Elf, Blodge player here. Is that a Niggle? Yeah, so there's a Niggle on that Blodge piece, and there's a Niggle AV7 on this Blitzer. So this is almost like the perfect example of a glass cannon. This could do a lot of damage, or it could disappear in one turn.
Yeah.
Let's look at Feeling Your Mummy. So you're out a thrower.
Yeah.
You're under. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
not bad for 11. But so it will be 11. So that won't go up from a journeyman point of view. So I will be okay. I mean, it's coming along. I'm going to miss that thrower because it's me block thrower, which kind of makes it my default third blitzer in effect.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit annoying. But in fairness, against the Delves, I'm probably going to want to play a bit of a grinding running game anyway. He's my lovely sweeper that potentially will get me out of the shit if he breaks through. The strip ball, I'm happy with. I mean, what I really need now is for him to throw a fucking a movement increase. That would be the business.
Would you not grab tackle at this point?
I'd love tackle as well. Absolutely. I mean, there's a few places I'd like tackle. But I've got another Tomb Guardian that potentially could level up this game. Sitting at the top on 4 SPP. Yeah.
You could realistically level both of those this next game.
The thrower being out is a shame because he would have been a second sweeper that I'd use along with the blitzer with the strip ball blitzer. My view is first half I just need to try and break him and hope that I'm only going into the second half either 0-0 or only a one score in it. And hope that the potential brittleness I'm still lacking in Mighty Blow. I've got a couple in there, but not a lot. So it will be reliant on natural armor breaks, really. I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be easy by any means, because the other thing is I'm not particularly fast.
Yeah. Yeah, but Dark
So
Elves are like the slowest elf, though, right?
they are, but they're still faster than me. And again, having that move 6 throw out again is one of the pieces with one of the 4 pieces I've got with pace. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's going to be nip and tuck. What's his fan factor? Because I've got 4. I'm guessing it'll be about the same. Because I could do with some fucking kickoff results.
3, 4, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, bear in mind, he's got another 70k to go on top of that, so he's going to be at 1300.
Oh, that's true, yeah, because you'll have a journeyman in there, won't you?
Yeah, and you're going to be at... Yeah, so you've got about...
11,
you could wizard. You could wizard.
Oh, a wizard might be nice, yeah.
Or do you, or do you take a bribe? You could go bribe and... bribe and a
chainsaw.
Oh, bribe and a chainsaw would be great. Yeah, because this is like if you can win this one, we didn't look at the stand-ins between this, so apologies, we'll look after. But if you can win this one, you kind of puts you back in that playoff shout.
Yeah, it puts me back in contention. I'm kind of halfway down the lower half of the table, so kind of 3/4 of the way down. A win, because it is nip and tuck at the moment, a win will put me back in sight, I think, of playoff positions. I'm not confident of a win, and Crazy's a good coach as well, so it's not good. There's nothing going to be given away that's easy. So I think I'm probably going to lose 2-1 if I'm honest. I think that he'll just be able to fucking get around me and get past me, and I'll have to play really, really well to be able to try and hamper the movement and the agility hijinks that he's got. But I'm going to go 2-1 to the Warts.
I'm going to go 1-1. I think he's going to score no matter what, because he's elves and they just have to roll 2 or more. But I think once you get the ball, I think you'll be able to slowly push up. And then he has to then play your game and engage you in his play. He's got minus armor, he's got niggles and things like that. You do have Mighty Blow. So it's not, it's not just standard armor breaks. You've got a couple of Mighty Blows there. So if you target the right pieces, it's almost worth on your defensive drive. If you know you're not going to stop him, instead of going for that double GFI blitz to take out his corner piece to watch him 2+ and walk in, it might be like, let's look in the center of the pack.
What can I kill?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Where's that AV7 and go for that. That's what I did against Woodies at the weekend. When I was on my offensive drive, I was like, okay, I'm pushing up. Where's his thrower? Because I've got a feeling that as soon as I take that thrower out, his offense is dead. And that's exactly what happened. I killed his thrower and he couldn't attack in the second half. Yeah,
definitely, and I certainly think again the toss is going to be an important one on that one. I think it will likely govern the outcome of the game.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that he'll just get a blitz. That's kind of what Blood Bowl 2 does right now. So
that's certainly my lived experience. I think there was 2 I suffered against the Flings. I mean, it was Flings. It wasn't the end of the world, but still, I haven't had one in as long as I can remember.
So over half my games this season have started with a blitz turn 0.
Yeah,
and it's so brutal. It's so brutal.
Yeah, I'm still smarting from 9 out of 11 players down from the pitch invasion.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Next up,
fun.
Sorry,
funny's not the fucking word.
Next up, we've got Onion Flaps versus the Wieners. This is going to be really interesting. Let's look at the Onion Flaps first.
Because this will be the first time the Norse have had to play an ogre team, I think, isn't it?
Oh, so glad I didn't play Big Floor when he had 5 ogres.
Yeah.
Big Floor's an absolute beast. So seeing him go to a 5th ogre now is huge. He still doesn't have an apothecary. God, he must have had a lot of losses. But this is it. You've got one ogre team that's had a lot of casualties, and you've had another that's been fairly fortunate. Juggernaut.
I'm so glad I played them at the start of the season.
Love Juggernaut. Love Juggernaut. It's a skill that gets overlooked so much, and so many people on their big guys, they'll just go, oh, I'll just put guard on it. And guard's not a bad thing, but sometimes you need to hit with strength 5, and Juggernaut just makes it that more reliable. Not only that, if someone's got like flesh golems because they've got a small penis, like stand firm isn't a thing anymore with Juggernaut. No. You just blitz through them, you're into the cage, you can base them, and then they're going to have to roll like fair dice to try and get out of it. So really big skill here. Another one, this I think isn't overlooked as much, Break Tackle, but it's still never normally a first choice. People will go guard like almost default. And Break Tackle, like if you've got 5 guard ogres and I've got 5 zombies, great, I'm just going to mark you and then try and rend you. And I say that like it works. It worked in one game, it didn't work in the other.
Yeah.
But Break Tackle just completely changes that, and being able to dodge out on a 2+ is huge. On Fumble right now, I've got a block Break Tackle Minotaur, and he gets like 2 or 3 casualties every single game because you can't pin him down.
Yeah, and I think that's particularly true for an ogre team where you've got the multiple big guys. You think of the teams where you've got a single big guy or maybe 2, whether it's a tree man, a troll, or something like that. You know, actually, your big guy's likely just going to be anchoring your line of scrimmage. So guard then becomes the logical choice.
Yeah.
But actually, where you've got kind of an ogre team where you've got the multiple big guys. I mean, it'll be even true in Blood Bowl 2020, something like a Black Orc team. Having those skills on a Black Orc so that your big guys, I mean, they're not big guys, but your higher strength players don't just get bogged down and tagged and then become, unusable. And I guess that would be the same for lizards as well. Again, it's one where you just need to think outside the box a little bit. And Break Tackle's a massive thing to have on a high strength big guy, because, as you say, you can't stop him doing what he wants to do.
Yeah,
it's only Bonehead's going to stop him. You're not going to be able to stop him doing it.
Yeah, he can do pretty much whatever the fuck he wants. He could even dodge into tackle zones on like a 4-up. So literally just step into your cage. I think that would be a 4-up, right? 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Depending on how, maybe a 5. But yeah, just being the ability to just step into a cage and punch the ball carrier is nuts. And they're fighting the Wieners. Take a look at these guys. 1200 now. I didn't check Big Floor's TV actually, but I'll go back and do that in a minute. Looking nice. Good team.
Definitely.
Shocked he didn't go for Mighty Blow on this, because we are still in the age where Mighty Blow and Claws do stack. I guess it's because he's got Frenzy to deal with, so I guess having that guard piece tucked in there makes sense. But I think Claw Mighty in this edition is just too tasty to leave.
Yeah.
Berserker, Mighty Blow and this guy. These are my favourite piece in all of Blood Bowl, by the way. I think they're so cool.
Nice.
I actually, along with the Troll Slayer as well, I think the Troll Slayer is pretty cool, but they're basically the same piece. One's just a little bit faster.
Mighty Blow on the Berserkers is great. Jump up is a big thing on them, and you can easily forget how quick they can get back into you, even though you've knocked them down.
Yeah, he's got a Blodge Runner, which will be difficult for the ogres to deal with, even with 3 dice, it's not a guarantee. Dodge Ulf. Again, that's going to be really, really good in this game. By default, I'm always like, just go block. But in this game, he's essentially Blodge, right? Because there's no block on the other team. He's got dodge. He can risk a 4+ dodge to move it as well, because he's got the free reroll built in. So not bad. Block tackle. Actually, that's going to be huge. I hadn't even twigged on that. And then just a ton of block as well.
I mean, those block tackle pieces are going to be absolutely key to how well the game goes, I think. Because he's not going to out-muscle them.
No.
But if he can just hamper their ability, particularly if you've got a Noblar with the ball, it's not getting away from a block tackle piece of a higher strength. And he still hasn't had the typical Norse game where AV7 fucks you.
Could this
be it against the ogres?
Could this be it? I've run Norse into ogres before, and I got decimated. But I didn't have tackle.
Yeah.
And it's like coach skill wise, I think these guys are pretty much even with each other as well. Both really good coaches. This is a hard one. I'm going to be bold here because I think I need to score some points. I'm going to say 2-0 to the Norse.
Okay. I was going to go 2-1 to the Norse, interestingly.
Yeah, I was going to go for the 2-1, but I was like, if he really smashes him, then the Ogres don't. Like, if he takes out all the Nobblers pretty quick, see them not scoring.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll go for that. Next up, we've got High Times in P-Town versus the Skanks and Sore Asses. Or Sore Ass. So let's take a look at the Sore Ass first. He's getting there.
Yeah.
Sidestep diving tackle, that is going to be incredibly annoying for the elves. He's got a block and a skink as well. Minus movement 1 there. Probably when he gets a bit more gold, can get rid of that. He's got a Mighty Blowsaurus here that's missing. He's got another block Mighty Blowsaurus, another Mighty Blowsaurus, Crocs. I think, this is...
It's healthy.
Yeah, it's looking nice. 3 rerolls. Pock Theory.
3 rerolls is so it's in a good place for this point in the season, I feel, particularly since we've had lots and lots of deaths and casualties. So actually, that's not a bad shape at all. Bin that limpy skink off at some point. Again, the movement bust on the Saurus, I think, is less important. What's he got? 2 SPP on it.
Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. You can live with that for a while.
Yeah, definitely. So, that's not in bad shape at all.
I think he's
the
going to build
and the 3 rerolls is... So what's
huge.
he at? 12-10. Yeah, 12-10.
I think from having a chat with him, he's going to build them very similar to how Mr. Ben built his first... You played Season 1 of this, didn't you? My memory's terrible. You did, didn't you?
Yes, I did, but don't fucking ask me. I've slept since then. Jesus.
Mr. Ben basically took a lizard team and just took Mighty Blow on every piece, and it was very good. And you end up with better ogres by Season 2 if you do that. So it's going to be cool to see this one develop. They're against the Woodies, who had a big result this week, obviously. So let's have a look at the Woodies. These guys are now, I think they've won their last 3 games on the trot. So I feel pretty fortunate that I beat them, actually. Dancer is...
That's a great
tackle.
Fuck me, that's a great piece, isn't it?
Scott, if you're watching this, if this piece is ever on the floor, you just have to foul it. Like, you have to foul it. There's not an option. It has to be fouled.
No, absolutely.
Grab on the tree. Interesting.
Yeah, I like. I've gone grab on trees in my halfling teams before. It changes plans. It changes kind of, those kind of chain blocks and stuff like that. It can just alter all of that. So I like grab on trees.
Nice. Then the rest is just linos. One's got extra movement, one's got kick. I'll let you pick.
I'm going to go 2-1 at the Skanks.
Okay, I'll do the same, but for the Woodies.
Okay.
Because they're both like... They don't play tons of Blood Bowl, so they've not got all that PTSD where they've scored too early and then it's bit them in the ass. So they both like just try and score all the time, which is really fun. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Then we've got the Striders versus Sirius United. So should we look at Sirius United first?
Yeah.
12-20 after that absolute demolition of those... the Chaos team. His wolves were... Yeah, I did no damage. Actually, no, that's a lie. I killed... Yeah. This used to be a Beastman.
Oh, right.
So I did kill I did kill a zombie, but then he killed a beastman and got a zombie back from it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So a couple of block zombies.
Yeah.
Just no skills on the whites whatsoever because you've got wolves.
Wolves. Yeah.
Flesh golem. Don't think they really did. The flesh golems didn't feel. They're not great into strength 4, are they? Because their kind of thing is the fact that they've got strength 4, and it's great into strength 3 teams.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it before. They are just slightly strong zombies, and arguably, you block on the other 2 zombies. It doesn't. I mean, he's got mighty blow on one of them, so that's no bad thing. But two flesh golems, 2 block zombies. That's not a bad line of scrimmage. You ain't gonna bust through it. And then you've got some zombies for fouling. Yeah. I still think the ghouls are missing.
Yeah, I've mentioned this to him when we were playing, but it's hard to give someone advice as they run in their 3rd uncontested touchdown. But
yeah, I mean, the build is working well for him. What did I do against him?
I mean, results-wise, probably not. But
yeah.
I think he's fairly low down in the table. He might even be on par with me, which would be appalling. But yeah, he's got 150k. I'd like to see him try a ghoul. I'd like to see him try a ghoul at this point. Teams are starting to get to that 1,200-1,300, so you can fit a ghoul in there without having to give up too much.
I mean, if you chucked a ghoul in there now, again with that next season in mind, to try and look at a kind of a blodging, sidestepping ghoul as a 3rd threat ball carrier, it just offers 2 wolves. Is not impossible to contain, but 2 wolves and 2 ghouls, it's really, really fucking hard to stop that running through you. Yeah. Because you've got 4 potential ball carriers. I mean, I was lucky in my game against him. He only had 1 wolf, and I managed to foul and injure the other wolf for that. And then it was it felt easy. It felt like we were on a level playing field because that speed element out of his side had gone.
They're not special. Once the wolves go, if you've got no ghouls, they're not a special team. Because I had the same experience when he had the 2 wolves on. He scored 3 touchdowns. The moment they were both gone, that's when I scored mine. And there's just a noticeable difference in what they can actually do when those wolves aren't there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is why I hate Undead, because that's an Undead team.
yeah. But as I say, he's got 150 in the bank. He's got bench. Now's the time, I think, to put a ghoul in. Pardon me, put a ghoul in there and have some fun with it.
Yeah, I would like to see for his own sort of personal development that he at least try a ghoul. Let's see what the team difference is on this one.
But I mean, the other thing is he's got the potential for that 3rd reroll as well. So whether that's where that money will go.
Yeah, so he's playing the Striders. 1,400. So he can easily afford. He can fit that in. I know he'd be giving up a wizard, but he can fit that in and not give away any inducement money. Oh.
Yeah. So we've got an ogre with a level up to come in.
Yeah, you've got block, you've got piling on here. I know for a fact what he's rolled on this. So he has the option. It wasn't a double, but he has the option of agility.
Right.
Then you've got guard, you've got break tackle here. He's got a free reroll, a couple of diving tackles, a foul, and he does foul. And this is it. The way Iron plays, he plays really aggressive with his wolves, so they get stuck in. And that gives you opportunities to foul. So that's how I took out one of the wolves. He pushed it forwards. Yeah. I got 3 players around it and just kicked it in the head.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the same in our game. He committed the wolf too early, and it allowed me to be able to knock it down and stamp on it. So, and again, you're then using the wolves as blitzers, which they can do. But you run the risk with frenzy of getting pulled out of position. And once they're gone, you're fucked. This is. I'll go big. I think 3-1 to the ogres.
Wow, really?
Yep.
I think Sirius is going to get frustrated into those ogres, but I also know that he's an absolute fucking 3+ machine as well. So it's really hard. A couple of failed boneheads. Got the zombies to tie them up.
Have you dosed off?
No, it's a big decision. I'm going to say 2-1 Necro.
Okay.
If he doesn't use his wolves like an idiot, and he either gets a ghoul or he gets a wizard, I think he's got the opportunity to win, and he can have both of those things with the inducements.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to start picking opposite you, otherwise I'm just going to lose. Next up, we've got Tin Tan Rats versus the Zombies.
You see, I think this is game of the week. I think this is going to be the one that's going to be really, really interesting.
Who should we look at first? Should we look at Necro or Skaven?
Let's look at Necro, because then we can use Skaven to get the taste of it out of our mouth.
Yeah, fucking cheese monkey. Right.
Yeah.
14-20. Got 180 in the bank. You right, Pops? I mean, what can you say, really? It's a Necro team. He's taken block.
Mm-hmm.
He's just taken block.
Yeah.
Very imaginative. Very, very varied. Very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad he's really thought outside the box to challenge himself this season. So yeah, so we've got block tackle wolf, block werewolf, block on both his flesh golems, and then he has taken some interesting stuff on the white. So he's got mighty blow, jump up. I personally would have just gone palm there or tackle. I know jump up's really good, and it's on a double, isn't it? So I guess that's kind of why he's got it there. But you know, from my point of view, that piece is there to kill stuff, and by adding jump up, you're just delaying the amount of time it has to kill stuff. The amount of opportunity you have. Because if you have Mighty Blow piling on there, and you're re-rolling all those stuns and KO, well, probably not KO. I never re-roll a KO, I always re-roll the stuns. But, you know, jump up's great, you can jump up, and there might be 2 instances over the next 6 weeks where you get a free block, but being able to pile on every armor break is just huge. And the stats speak for itself, and there's a reason it's not in the new game, because it's really powerful. So I can see his like long-term thought here. But if that piece gets killed next game, like...
I mean, again, it's not a big bench, only 1 ghoul. So, you know, again, do you buy in for the second ghoul now? You already got 3 re-rolls, 7 fan factor, so... Or do you keep it there worrying about having to replace a wolf at some point?
Yeah, I don't think Necro players can cope without wolves, so that's probably why he's got all that stacked up. I mean, you could grab an extra zombie and take in 2 players, and he can foul a lot. I think he needs to get the Skaven off the pitch. I think fouling will be a good option there. So yeah, if I'm him, you take 40k out of your 180, you buy a zombie, and then you know you don't have to worry if one of your wolves gets killed, because you can just replace the next game after you finish crying.
Yep.
Alright, enough of that. Let's go look at the Tin Tan Rats. Oh, and also, yeah, he'd only give up 20k in inducement.
Yeah.
Here's Skaven. 2 Blodge sidestep gutter runners.
Mm-hmm.
Magic has 1 tackle, doesn't he? Yeah, he has 1 tackle.
Yeah.
Hail Mary accurate. Wrestle on a gutter runner. Sprint sure feet, block tackle mighty blow. So there is some potential counter for those wolves. And also the rat ogre as well, which started off great with some SPP in its first few games, but it seems to have stalled out a little bit. Again, this could be a big piece into the...
You'd fancy it against the for the zombies, that he might pick up another casualty and that'll level it up. So
yeah, it's also the fact that he could blitz this onto something like the wolf that is looking to try and score. The only danger is there, obviously, you're giving up a free claw hit. But, I mean, you can't... The one thing I've learned, you can't avoid the scary players. You have to go after them, because if you avoid them, they'll just slowly pick you off one at a time. Whereas
Yeah.
if you really like just commit, you know, it's not just your opponent that can roll higher than 8 on 2 dice.
Yeah.
So you've got to go for it sometimes.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I think you do kind of almost want to exocet the Rat Ogre to take out one of those vital pieces, but at the same time, you know, they've both got blocks. So although you're up on strength, the dice
don't feel great.
Are not starting to feel great at that point, are they?
Yeah, you're not like hitting into it like, ooh, this is going to be good. You're like, fuck, I hope I don't get both down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, you know, Frenzy as well has the ability to pull out from a 2 dice block and end up in a 1 dice block against players with block, and you know the probabilities are stacking against you at that point.
Yeah. What's
2-2.
2-2.
2-2.
Oh no,
yeah.
I'm gonna pick a winner. I've got to pick a winner. Magic, 2-1. I think Skaven get a quick score, and then I think they get smashed up. Possibly. But we might both be wrong, and it might be a 6-0 to the Skaven.
Yeah. Stranger things have happened. He is dead good with them gutter runners. I keep saying it, but he really did impress me with them.
Yeah, yeah. And then final game of the week, the 8-point Giants versus the Rotting Deadskins. So, Lebat, first of all, if you're listening, please take out those trees. Let's have a look at... Should we look at the flings first? 8-10?
Yeah.
So they're always, no matter who they play, they've always got a Master Chef. So
Yep.
Chaos... Oh my god, I'm going to play them with Chaos, with no block, with no rerolls.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I might go on vacation next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to look at. It's the same team we...
No, it's... Yeah.
Skip. And then let's look at Lebat. Here we go. I guess what is he giving up?
3, I think. So
380. 380.
Yes.
And he's got Nuffle's Altar as well. We've got to remember. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah. Now, I because obviously I know Lee outside of the league. I know he's smarting from this. He was talking about, I wish I'd re-rolled my team.
Who did he play?
He played, one moment while I refer to my book. So the Deadskins, that was against the Norse.
Oh, okay. Shit.
So,
if you want to re-roll now, Lebat, and take dwarfs, I'll allow it. No, I'm joking.
I mean, so he's got a couple of players out. It's not ideal for him.
I think he's in trouble. I don't think he has a bad team, but I think this team, as it is with the removals, the pieces that he's lost, I think this is a bad team. I think the Flings beat him here, and I think Flings 2-0.
Okay.
Sorry, I know I've jumped in there, but I didn't want you to steal that from me. Lee's obviously a really good coach, but that, you know, we said this a few weeks ago. His core of that team is the Edge 4 Ghoul, who is out, and he's got his Thrower Ghoul that is minus armor. And you got to think, you know, there's a potentially might come up against Morg. He might have no rerolls. Oh my god, this might be rough for him.
Yeah. I don't want to predict another draw though, because I've gone.
Pick a hard win. Pick a hard win.
Well, just because you went Flings, I'll go Lee. I think Lee's going to win 2-1. He's got his work cut out. But if he can avoid doing what I did and get sucked into the trees and just go to town, you know, he's still got his 2 mummies. He's still got 1 white. He's got a threat pace piece with his ghouls.
Zara's in this game, isn't she?
Yeah,
I'm just thinking
and
of.
he's got 4 re-rolls, so it's not he's not going to not have any re-rolls. So
It's gonna be tough.
it'll be a hard game.
I think
Um,
I think the halflings have a lot of options inducements wise. Obviously, the chef goes without saying, but like he's
yeah,
still gonna have. He could potentially sneak in 2-star players, especially if
if
he's
he goes
got
cheap,
Knuckles Alter. Yeah,
yeah, if he goes cheap, which Knuffles Alter allows him to do, then yeah, you could be looking at. I mean, he used Deep Root. Okay, Deep Root did what kind of Deep Root does against Lee. I think Zara would be a better
yeah.
pick,
Especially
particularly
because the
with the
ball.
stab.
Yeah, the ball piece has got 6 armor, and doesn't she have like a +1 against undead?
I honestly can't remember,
I think she's
but
got stakes or something, doesn't she? Or is that in the new edition?
yeah,
I can't remember.
no,
Is
that's
that
the new
Carla Von
new
Kill?
one. Yeah, that's Carla in the new one.
Okay.
But it's going to be close. But just in the interest of not picking flings, I think Lee, if he plays out of his socks, then he might be all right.
Yeah, and he's a good player as well. It's worth pointing out. But from what I've heard, again, I've never watched Clockwork play, but every single coach that's played him so far is telling me that he's very good, especially with his stunty stuff. So it's not, yeah. I think
I'd
he's
agree.
in trouble. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to predict that I'm going to lose to the Halflings next week. Brill. And I guess that brings us to the leaderboard.
The leaderboard.
So, at the top, the leaderboard is all fixed again now.
Yeah.
At the top, we have Show Me Magic. Still hasn't dropped a game, so 6 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses. Followed very closely by Deaton or Vake, 5-1-1. So those are the superior qualifying spots. They go straight through to like the semi-finals, is it? Of the
Yeah.
so they go straight through to semis. Then in third, you have Gridbug 4-0-3. So while he's like heading wins right now, if one of these lower people that's got a few draws gets a win, they would overtake him. Like Crespo, if he wins this week, overtakes Gridbug.
Yeah.
Even if Gridbug keeps winning, then he stays ahead, doesn't he? I'm an idiot. Crespo in at 4-3-3-1, and then Jazz from the horrid start he had to the season to be fifth with 4 wins and 3 losses is amazing. His Wood Elf team is staying fairly healthy, which is unusual. Like he's losing a player a player or two here or there, but his war dancers are okay, and that's kind of what the team is. Big Floor and Crazy are tied for 6th place, so God knows how we'd work that out. But yeah, tied in that last qualification spot, 3-1-3 both of those. And then just below, tied for 8th. So I'm actually still 8th. I'll take that. With records of 2-2-3. 4 of us, sorry.
Yeah.
I nearly forgot about you as well. How are you having as bad a season as me? You had such a good start, didn't you?
I mean, I'd say it was a good start. I beat an ogre and I can't even remember, but I didn't get brutalised by the ogres, and I got them out of the way early doors. So the strength of fixtures should help me in the second half of the season. And then I've had a couple of games where it's just been I've been at the fucking mercy of dice, and it's been frustrating. But as I say, if I can get a win this week, or a couple of wins. I mean, it's still open, I would say, all the way down to 11, all the way down to me at the moment for, those top 6 spots. We're all contesting there. So
yeah, this is crazy, actually. The fact that, 11th, well, it's not 11th, it's 8th. You're 8th, you're not 11th. We're all tied on it. But yeah, there's Lee, Iron, myself, and Uber all in 8th position. Then we've got Mr. Ben, 205. There is still a possibility that he makes that, but I think honestly he needs to think about
just worry about building
Yeah.
for next season, I think. Yeah.
Clockwork. You could upset a few people. And again, it's not a crazy amount of wins you need to get
No,
to round 6, but I guess it's going to move, isn't it? The line's going to move every week.
I think the really interesting thing that Clockwork's going to throw into the mix is, while it is feasible that he'll climb and potentially get himself into a playoff position, the results that he can impact for other players could really upset stuff.
Yeah.
Because flings are flings, but he played them really well.
And then Battlehawk, still holding up the table. He's got, win and a draw now, so he's undefeated in his past 2 weeks, and I think he's got, there's a potential that he picks up another win here this week as well, which would put him back into
somewhere into that middle of the bottom half.
He'd be ahead of Mr. Ben, assuming Mr. Ben doesn't win this week.
Yeah. And again, the thing with that team is the potential damage it can do in the second half of the season now to established teams. A couple of fatalities into an established team, and it can completely upset their last quarter of the season. So, I still think it really is quite open.
I'm tempted. I'm just going to have a quick check who they're playing over the next few weeks. So let's see. The Stonehall Striders have Undead, who are in contention. They've then got Mr. Magic.
Yeah.
So they could potentially do some damage to him there. They then have the Flings. Then have Deaton. That could be a big one as well. That Armor 7 is vulnerable there, isn't it? High strength, mighty blow against Armor 7. Lebat, and then right before playoffs, final game of the season for Tin Town Rats is the Ogres. And then let's just have a quick look through for Big Floor as well. So he's got Deaton this week. He's got Crespo next. He's got Magic. So this is it. Magic's not played the Ogres. He's then got Mr. Ben. Oh, God, Mr. Ben. He's then got Sirius. And he's then got Lebat.
Yeah.
So Lebat's got double Ogres. Deaton's got double Ogres. Magic's got double Ogres. Sirius has got double Ogres. So there's a lot of people that haven't really run into them yet. And I'm not being funny. It sounds great on paper. You're like, I'm going to roll into the Ogres and it will, be an easy win kind of thing. So tier 4. But fuck me, as soon as you start placing your models, you're like, ugh.
Well, you're at the point in the season where you've got players that you've developed and you've leveled up and you've got skills, and it's really difficult to not fall into that trap of wanting to try and protect them all of the time, and actually then the Ogres just rip the heart out of your rank and file.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what happened when I played Battlehawk. Like, even though I was like, I'm going to re-roll, I was still trying to protect some of my pieces, and I wasn't sticking them in where I would if I was trying to go for a win. And he fucking destroyed me. Like 4 turns, my team was just dead. Just crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So it's wide open. I think it really is still wide open all the way down to kind of 12th. And even those below me, or below 12th, or certainly below 11th, a string of results for people, and all of a sudden, 2 or 3 results could completely change the bottom half of the table.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I've got another idea for a wager.
Okay.
That feeds into the same one, so it's not going to get silly. Predict top 6.
Okay.
And then when we reach playoffs, we'll have to predict the winner before the playoffs starts. So we'll do our prediction next week. So we've got time to think about it. I'm not going to put you on the spot. We'll have a think who we think is going to qualify, and it might be a bit clearer after the next results anyway. So then we'll throw that in there because I need something to change up the scores.
Okay, so what we'll do for top 6 is a point for each one that you get right,
Yep.
and double points for getting top of the table.
How about point for each one you get right, and then the points value of the position if you've called the correct team in the correct position.
Ooh,
so if you get first right, you get 6 points. Second, 7 points because you get you 1 for the right and then the 6. Second, you would get 5 points for getting it right, and then 1 point for actually calling that coach. We could do it like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll sort it out during the week. We'll agree the scoring, and then we'll throw that in for next week. Then.
Yeah. I don't see myself winning on these week-to-week predictions. I'm terrible at it.
But yes, that will definitely make it, if you like, a crucial countdown conundrum for those that are sad enough.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we've run on quite a bit this week, but it's been good fun. Anything else you want to add on?
Necro players suck balls.
Necro players do suck balls. In terms of the rerolls, obviously we did a couple of teams rerolled last week. There is a knack to doing it, so you don't lose the results. So we've got that down. What I would like to know at the end of season is obviously player feedback on how we felt it's gone. If we hate it, and the majority of the league hates it, we'll probably not do it for next season. But at the same time, if no one minds, I think it's nice having that reset button if you have had your team smashed up in a long league. I think we'll also start looking at getting some feedback for how next season's run as well. So are you guys happy with this long time period, like long, like 13, 14 game seasons? Yeah. We have someone else in the Discord that's looking to join, so we'd probably go up to 16 plays next season. Again, I don't mind playing 2 extra games, but we'd like to see if everyone else does as well. That's assuming, obviously, everyone sticks around and I don't kick anyone out. So, we'll start doing some votes over the next few weeks. I'm not going to bombard you with them, but we might ask you a question a week or something like that. And then we'll just collate the results and then make a decision on what we do there. But no, for me, been really, really fun week. Funnily enough, I actually really enjoyed my game with Iron this week, even though the first half was just mental. It was so bad it was funny. So it turned out to be a really enjoyable game actually. So thank you for that one. And yeah, good luck everyone this week. I hope there's lots of casualties, and I look forward to hearing about them. So yeah.
And record this on a Friday because everybody did a great job of getting their games played quickly as well.
Good fucking point. I've been a bit on it with reminding people this week.
Yeah.
So if that gets annoying, I'm sorry. But what we don't want to do is try and do everything like the last hour of the deadline and stuff like that. So I will probably send chasers once or twice a week to keep it moving. It's a long season. I don't want to do any extensions at all if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
The only extension I'm going to allow is in the final week if I feel like someone's trying to avoid a game to keep their team safe for playoffs. Those last 7 games are getting played, so no one's skipping through to the playoffs once they're safe. Anyway, nice weekend, guys. Thank you very much, Uber, as always. And sorry, Magic couldn't be here with us.
I'm not.